Hello my dear students, welcome to my channel. Today I will start a chapter which is known as section formula. So first of all we have to know what this chapter deals with. This is nothing but a part of coordinate geometry. As you all know that in space or anywhere in the world, for any object, if it is a point object or anything, we can find out its coordinates, that means its position on the earth, by determining its x coordinate, position in the x coordinate and position in the y coordinate. In this chapter we will study the section formula, that means we shall find the coordinates of the point which divides the line segment joining to given points in a given ratio. That means if I draw a line or line segment, that is P and Q, right, and it divides at the point R, and the ratio of these two parts, that means PR and RQ, is M1 is to M2. It may be they are equally divided or in other ratio, and for the P point coordinates are x1, y1, and for Q point it is x2, y2 coordinates. If the coordinate of R point is denoted by x and y, we have to determine the coordinates of this particular point. But in short, I have named it as x and y, but from this formula, section formula, we can find out the value of x coordinate and value of y coordinate, right? So, as you can easily understand, the M1 ratio for the x coordinate is x1 minus x2, and the M2 part y coordinate is y2 minus y1, right? So, the coordinate, it is a very important formula actually, coordinate of R, that means for x coordinate it will be M1 x2 plus M2 x1 by M1 plus M2, and for y point the coordinate is M1 y2 plus M2 y1 by M1 plus M2. Now look at very carefully. M1 means this part, M1 x2 plus M2 x1. That means when I am dealing with the x, the numerator part, everything will be x, either x2 and x1. M1 x2, this is cross, M1 x2 M2 x1 by M1 plus M2, and for y coordinate, the value of coordinate will be M2 y1 M1 y2, M1 y2 plus M2 y1 by M1 plus M2, right? Now the midpoint formula, many students try to memorize this formula, midpoint formula, but one thing you know, that if you understand this formula, you can find out any kind of section formula through this knowledge itself. Midpoint, that means equally divided into two parts. If it is 2 centimeter, it is also 2 centimeter. If it is 5 centimeter, here also it is 5 centimeter. So obviously in case of midpoint, it will be 1:1. So again I am drawing the thing here, R and S. It is x1, y1, x2, y2, and somewhere here M, the coordinates is xy. In case of M1 and M2, it is 1:1, right? So what will be the coordinate of M? Coordinate of M for x coordinate, what will be that? In case of earlier, M1 x2, M2 x1. So here also instead of M1 we will write 1 into x2 plus 1 into x1 by 1 plus 1. Here M1 plus M2, here 1 plus 1. So it is x2 plus x1 by 2. For the y coordinate, what will be that? M1 y2. So 1 for M1, it is 1 y2 plus 1 y1 by 1 plus 1. So y1 plus y2 by 2, right? Similarly, if it is ratio of 2:1, so obviously it will be 2 into x2 plus 1 is 2 x into x1 by 2 plus 1, and here the same also. So every time the ratio changes, the value you just memorize that we have to put the value of M1 and M2, the ratios. Everything is, rest thing is same. Okay. Now, very important part of this chapter is to find out the centroid of a triangle. How to find out the coordinate of the centroid of the triangle? What is centroid? If it is an isosceles triangle, that means every side are of different, and from the midpoint of each side, mind that from the midpoint of each side, if we project a line to the opposite vertex, so BC is the side, midpoint is D, from there I am projecting a line DA which meets at a point of vertex. Here also the same, from AB midpoint I am projecting a line this which is meeting at C. Here also from AC line midpoint is this point, from there I am projecting a point up to the vertex B. So all these three lines will meet at a point. This point is known as centroid. So here we have to find out the coordinates of centroid. From the geometrical knowledge, we know that median, these are called the medians, right? So these lines are individual medians. Medians of a triangle ABC divides this median is to 2:1. That means AG is to GD is equals to 2:1, whatever. So let us find out the coordinate of this point. What is given? The coordinates of x, A, B and C, that is x1, y1, x2, y2 and x3, y3, right? And D is the midpoint of BC. So here we can, from this line itself, we can find out the coordinate of this, if he denote it as x and y, what will be the coordinate of D? X coordinate, it will be this 2:1. So obviously it will be, as it is divided into 1:1, middle point, midpoint. So ratios are 1:1. So from earlier we can find out that x2 plus x3 by 2, it is the x coordinate, y coordinate is y2 plus y3 by 2. Okay. Now we know the coordinate of this point, which is x2 plus x3 by 2 and y2 plus y3 by 2. Now from there, this point we know the coordinate x1, y1, and this point we know the coordinate, just we find out. So with the use of section formula, we can easily understand the coordinate of G, because we already know that this median is divided into the ratio of 2:1, right? So what will be the coordinate of G point? G point x dashed is equals to 1 into x1 plus 2 into x2 plus x3 by 2 and 1 plus 2, right? G y1 coordinate is, sorry, I am naming it as x and y itself, right, this point. So what will be that? It will be 1 into y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 2, 2 into 1 plus 2. 2:1. So obviously 1 into x1 plus 2 into x2 plus x3 by 2 plus 1. Similarly 2 into y2 plus y3 by 2 plus 1 into y1 whole by 1 plus 2. So if I write this, it will be x1, if I simplify it, it will be x2 plus x3 by 3, and it will be y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3. So ultimately the coordinate of the centroid will be x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3 and y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3. So for where we use this type of formulas in, or what is the application of using this formula? If any quadrilateral is given and we have to find out whether it is parallelogram, if I show them that diagonals bisect each other, as we know, that in that case we can say that this is a parallelogram. If a quadrilateral where the diagonals bisect each other and two adjacent sides are also equal, then also we can find out that this quadrilateral is rhombus. If in a quadrilateral diagonals bisect each other and also they are equal, we can say that it is a rectangle. And all we know that if a quadrilateral diagonals bisect each other and the adjacent sides are equal and diagonals are also equal, we can tell that it is a square. So in any kind of geometrical numericals where we have to find out the coordinates or where we have to prove that which type of coordinates, then with the help of this section formula we can easily solve those numericals. I hope you have understood today's session. in coming few videos we will go through the some numericals of this particular chapter. I hope you are enjoying this kind of video, and to get more such kind of videos and to get mathematical tricks of different chapters, you can give me message in the comment box. And if you like this video, please give the like button and share and subscribe with your friends to give me more energy to do such kind of more videos in coming days. For today I am just closing this video. I wish you all the best for coming exams. I know that all of you are going through exam sessions, so all the best to all of my students. We will meet tomorrow with a new video. Till then, goodbye.